Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are continuing my series of Ninjago crystallized episode reviews by taking a look at episode 20 of the entire season, entitled Christofern. As usual with these episode reviews, I want to spend some time talking about this episode, giving my thoughts on it, discussing the good and the bad, and finally, towards the very end of the video, I will give the episode a score out of 10. Also, spoilers are ahead for the episode, you have been warned. Check out this review after you've seen the episode. So in terms of Christofern, this episode right here, basically this is the Garmadon explanation episode. Where has he been this entire time? And he explains that story to Lloyd, Wu, and of course the audience. First of all, the good. Garmadon's backstory is genuinely hilarious. Garmadon is always funny to me, and he's trying really hard to be good in this episode, or at least in terms of the flashbacks. It's almost strangely cute in a way, seeing Garmadon try to do good things but absolutely failing at it just because he's Garmadon. But I thought it was really awesome to see his story and have him explain where he's been this entire time ever since March of the Oni, and I love the interactions as well with Vinny through the flashbacks. Of course, he's been living with Vinny in Vinny's apartment this entire time, and it's very sweet, sincere, and also funny at the same time. I'm glad to see that Garmadon found somebody that he actually connects with, and I love how after March of the Oni, he chooses Vinny as the person to go to for advice. I just love that connection to season 10. I also loved seeing Garmadon interact with Wu and Lloyd in the present. Again, that dynamic with Lloyd is kind of like a love-hate thing, very much capturing that season 10 vibe like I said earlier. And in terms of the Christofern, yeah, that's the potted plant that Garmadon cares for so much. It's nice to see Garmadon care about something, even if it's just a plant, he still does care, and he cares enough to activate his Oni form towards the very end of the episode once the plant gets destroyed. And I loved that scene. His transformation sequence was amazing, very, very awesome. Excellent use of colors, the animation was very smooth, and I just loved that scene overall. I loved seeing Garmadon battle the Venstone warriors, and again, this leads to Wu cracking the code about the Oni forms, mentioning to Lloyd that they could be useful in the battle against the Overlord, laying the groundwork for what's to come later in the season. In terms of the bad, yeah, there's some pretty interesting stuff going on here in terms of like negative aspects. As much as I love Garmadon's backstory, admittedly it doesn't really make much sense. There's a lot of plot holes here. How did nobody know where Garmadon was if he was just out terrorizing Ninjago City? That's the type of stuff that would probably get called into the ninja. Garmadon's trying to do good for sure, but the people are scared of him. Also, if you guys have read the Garmadon comic, this episode was kind of a headache to watch because the backstory that was mentioned in this episode conflicts with the Garmadon solo comic, which again explores the backstory of Garmadon after March of the Oni and explains what he's been doing this entire time. Are these comics still canon? We were told that they were canon. Are they still canon? They still could be canon, maybe. The episode doesn't really mention if they're canon, but is that the fault of the episode? I mean, maybe? Seems like more of a missed opportunity for the entire season though. But yes, that did annoy me watching this episode, thinking, wow, that doesn't make much sense because that's not what the comic said. That's not comic related. I just kind of wish for more of a connection with the Garmadon solo comic, and the backstory in this episode, yeah, it doesn't really make sense if you've read that comic. It's very distracting, and I imagine that other people who have been keeping up with the Garmadon comic feel the exact same way. Overall though, the episode is good aside from the major plot holes that kind of weigh the backstory down, but I loved seeing Garmadon back, loved seeing, I guess, that storyline brought to life, and it was still enjoyable despite the major plot holes that kind of irritated me. In terms of a score, I'm going to go ahead and give this episode an 8 out of 10. I think overall, yeah, pretty solid episode, but it definitely had some issues in terms of story, but I feel like that's more of the fault of the Ninjago storyline and the entire season, not really connecting with the supposedly canon Garmadon comic. So with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching this review. That'll wrap it up for my thoughts on episode 20, known as Christofern. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments regarding this episode, and hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to my review. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again later. Peace.